All right, what's up, guys? I have not done a RTA update in a while on kind of what I'm doing and how it's going. We are currently 14-ish days away from the end of the season. This will probably come out, less because I'm not going to put it out today. But I thought I'd just kind of talk about, how it was going, what's up with my plan, and yeah, just talk it through. So here's my current season. Win rate is basically identical to last season. 67.5. Last season I was 67.6. The points are down compared to last season. We're a ways away in 14. I mean, 14 days. It's going to go up a ton. But I'm happy with my rank right now, 2178. I'm above the cutoff by a little bit, so that's kind of nice. I feel like playing above the G1 cutoff is probably smart as much as I can. Like if I just fall out, there's nothing I can do. But sometimes the C3s are really tough because you get matched against someone who is just starting their climb and they just wreck you. Whereas if they're up in this area, you don't get wrecked quite as much. So I'm going to try to stay in this point 0.8 rank area, So that's kind of my plan. But played 25 less matches so far. I'll probably play 25 matches before the end of the season. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, we'll see if we can't get G1. We'll just kind of see. So I'll show my runes, and then we'll talk through the stats that I keep and just kind of show you how that's going. So couple changes this season. Yanhong is different if you compare to last season. She's about the same on speed, so she's 88, 94, 294. But she's on crit rate now. Look at that 95 crit rate. It's this rune here, which is really, really nice. And then it was my event rune that let me put her on crit rate, the 28 speed slot 6. So here are the runes. I really like this rune too. I think it's a +5. Yeah. This rune I like because even though it had a roll into flat HP, I mean, I obviously would have loved that roll to be into speed. But the roll into flat HP, I was like, okay, so it has HP. I'll give it more HP. And so it's just really loaded up in terms of HP. Let's give it this thing too. Can't hurt. Maybe it'll be even better. Nope, it'll be exactly the same. And then here we go. This one here. This one I like quite a bit too, and I think it has room to grow. Yeah, here it has room to grow. But it's just a nice little rune. This one has room to grow, and then this could be anything. I mean, ideally will, but I don't have a will rune that looks like that. So that's how that rune is. And then on the artifacts, she's on speed, and then speed, and then speed proportional to lost HP on both, just as a nice little secondary. So that's her. A little different. The main difference this season is Han is on Violent, which Han's never been on Violent. I'm a pretty big proponent of Han on Swift because his 3 cycles into 2, and if you Violent instead of cycling, you burn a Violent for your team, you reduce the rate, and it was basically a Violent anyway. So I don't know, but I think every time he pops out of a stun, I'm really happy that he's on Violence. So the main difference is it's still the same Swift runes. These are still my best runes. It's just they're the broken set now on his Violent runes. So you can see here, this is just a big beefy rune. This used to be Yanhong's rune when Yanhong was on crit damage. But since I got that slot 6 with Yanhong, I could put that slot 4 not on Violence, so it's really, really nice. The main thing on Han is the own target crit damage, so 12 on that side and 13 on this side. So he's got 25% extra crit damage, and then he's got a little bit of accuracy, a little bit more on the 3. So instead of 35, it's 45, 55, 160 crit damage, which is pretty good for 239 speed. So I'm pretty happy with his build overall, and he's working really well. The only issue he's on, not on Will, just like Yanhong. So I got to take that into account in my drafts and know what can they do to me if I'm not on Will that just messes me up. And there's stuff that can happen, but my win rate's fine. So I'm risking it, until I get these OP Violet runes, even though I'm farming it all the time. Like, you just got to do what you can do. Make the best units you can, right? So those two I play quite a bit. Nana is the other one I play a lot. She's tuned to just go in front of Han, so 239, and Han is 239 as well. Yeah, it's just that she's got the better base speed, so they're right up against each other, but she just slips right in front. No crit rate at all, max accuracy, because I want her to land her attack break, I want her to land her defense break. She's on Despair Nem, which of course messes up the speed tuning, but no one really attacks her. And then over here, she's on additional damage all the way, 1% HP, 40% speed, and speed, blah, 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 all additional damage. Because her first skill hits twice, and, it's not nothing. It's something, so I'm happy to have that. The other monster I use a lot is Diana. Here's the Diana on Violent Will. Runes here. She's on HP, crit rate, HP, and full additional damage by attack. So 8 there and 16 there. You want her on additional damage by attack. When she switches forms, she's mad attack, and she nukes hard. Crit damage is not bad, but crit rate is easier to build with a lot of survivability. People will always attack your Diana. Always, always, always. And if you shirk on effective HP, your Diana's going to die. And if you're playing with Nana, every second every unit stays alive is another second that Nana gets better, or Nana, or whatever. So I want my Diana to live. So this rune plays a big factor into that. A lot of defense, a lot of HP. But I need my Diana to live. All that extra defense is really handy. So there's Diana. Who else do I use? Quite a bit. Those are my main ones. I use Molly a ton. The Molly rerune I'm really happy with this season. I used to run Molly on crit rate because I feel like every monster should bring as much to the table as possible, and no one nukes down Molly. They might want to, but they just don't. And it's a good idea not to because they're always tanky. I mean, even this one's tanky, right? So what? 39, 40k HP, 15, 1600 defense. You don't want to nuke through Molly. You want to nuke through Diana or Han or whatever, you know? The nice thing about this build, it's Violent Blade. Here's the runes. This rune is not as good as it could be, but, you know, it's all right. This is a nice rune, the 29 speed. And then this one can get boosted, too, if I get one more grind. So what I like about this build is I ran the numbers on it, and the damage is pretty good on the 49 crit. It's not as good as the crit rate, but it's pretty good. And then it's got the 55 res, because since I personally have Yanhong, I run that res lead a lot. If they have the option to give me Yanhong or Han, they generally give me Yanhong, and so this makes Molly max. And I'll run Yanhong and Molly together quite often, and play super bruisery, and it works really, really well. So I want Molly to be max res so she doesn't get messed up. So that's why that's the case. I would never run a 100 res unit unless I really, really felt committed to its counters not running high accuracy, because those are just stats that are negated. Like, everything you fight that needs accuracy should have accuracy, and so every roll you put into res it's like you just give away the stats to your opponent, and they love that, you know? They're building stats that matter, and your stats are not mattering at all. So a little bit of res to bump up to 100 with the leader, I'm okay with, but I'm not going to build full res. Long rant. All right, Juno I run quite a bit. I'm really happy with this build. She's on 280 speed, which is really pretty fast on Despair. She's Despair broken, unfortunately. I would love her to be on Despair something, but she's not, because 280 speed's hard. So here's her runes. Got the nice little speedy crit rate rune there. So pretty solid, and she's on additional damage by speed because she's really fast, and just more additional damage in there. Let's see, who else do I run? I don't run Wusa too much, but here's the Wusa. 43k HP, not crazy fast. What, 69, 7, 89, 287? So that's kind of fast, but Wusa's easy to get fast. Pretty good accuracy. If my skill 1 ever turns into a sleep, then, you know, good times. And extra recovery. Damage dealt on wind, because you want to nuke, not your main element. Those are the ones I use quite a bit. I'll use Leo sometimes if people are trying to be speedy. He's okay. He's not the best. Fen Yang I've used a couple times. He's working okay. He's alright. Again, with the resist, like 55. Like, I want to be maxed with Yanhong, but I don't need to be maxed without Yanhong. I don't think I've used this at all. I built it. I don't know why. It's not used. I don't really use my Sierra either. But here's the Sierra. I'm not competing for speed. You'll notice, where's my other speed lead? I don't have one. I'm playing turn 2. I'm playing turn 2 against turn 1 teams. I'm playing turn 1 against bruiser teams quite a bit, which is super helpful. I'm not playing turn 2 to everybody. I'm playing turn 2 units, but with the Yanhong, I can steal turn 1 against most bruiser teams, which is great. Like, if they run Wusa, Molong, the odds of them going before me without a speed lead are very low because, you know, Yanhong's really fast, and it helps me get ahead, which is nice. So that's the Sierra. Here's the Shihu. I don't really use the Shihu that much, but it's okay. I'm doing the Swift thing that I talked about the other day. I like quite a bit. Antares, when it's run, it does great. Here's the Antares. The Verd, still triple revenge. I'm not on the Swift Verd train, but I'm pretty happy that it exists, because anything that makes people think my Verd might be 2 different builds, that's a win for me. Like, the more you know about my comp, the more you can counter it. And if you see my Verd and you're like, oh, is it Swift? I don't know. Maybe you ban Verd and don't ban something that is more impactful. So Swift Verd, keep Swift Verding, people. I'm all for it. Sekhmet, I have not used at all. So yeah, that's pretty much my core. I need to build the Molong. I had it built for a while, and I don't want to use it, but I'd like to have it, because I've lost a couple to Molong Wusa that I could split up. Like, why don't I split it up? So that'd be an easy thing to do, just build the Molong, but anyway. All right, so let's look at my stats. Here's my stats. Kind of an interesting couple of weeks. I've just been kind of treading water. I guess I put my win rate in this week, but this was 2 weeks ago, and I just went 4-1. So yeah, I just did a couple, like 1 a day. Just slowly climbing, trying to stay where I need to be. Last week I went 4-1 again, and I've been trying to take notes on what I win to or what I lose to, just for my own knowledge. AoE control's pretty good against me. I lose against it quite a bit. I beat most bruisers. I should beat most cleaves, but sometimes I mess up. I feel like you can lose to cleaves if you try to get cute in the moment and don't play what you know you should. So that happens sometimes. This is a Tessa. I was like, am I going to fight Tessa a lot? And I fight it some, but if you don't bring the units to actually kill Tessa, you're in some trouble. Here's a cleave I lost to. You can see what I did here. I did Diana, Molly, Antares, Fenyang. I thought the Antares isn't a horrible pick, but if it doesn't cut, it's dead. So I was banking on it cutting. The Fenyang also a terrible pick, because if they cleave, they'll just kill it, because it doesn't have enough health. That was a horrible pick. So I could do better there. Fighting against LDs, just my normal comp. Fighting against Bruiser. AoE control, I lost this one here. I did Nana, Diana, Molly, Juno, Han. I think AoE control, I'm taking notes over here, but AoE control, I need to build things like Sekhmet. You can see my little notes. More Leo. Leo's really good against them because it messes them up. Fire you, if I pulled it, that'd be great. I think I have the tools to try to steal turn 1 against AoE control, and I don't tend to use them. So if I want to up my win rate against AoE control, that would be something to do. But, I win sometimes. Like, here's when I won with Diana, Han, Molly, Juno, Verd. Same kind of deal. The Verd they banned, and as soon as they ban the Verd, I get Molly, Diana, which is pretty solid. Bruiser, lost to Bruiser here. Won an AoE control here with the same kind of thing. This is with the Leo. I think Leo's pretty solid. And then my little color coding system here, I've got bold is G2, italics is G1, and blue shiny is G3. This is my only G3 win of the season. I could not believe I won. I think he was messing around a little bit, but I was more than happy to win. I don't even know that I played other G3s. Like, they just don't match against me, and why should they? I'm G1. But I've been playing quite a bit of G1s, G2s, and kind of holding my own. You can see, like, if we go all the way back, these are some, like, C3s when I dip below, but, I mean, if we go back here, I was 1, 2, 3, 6, and 2 against G1, G2, G3, so that kind of reflects my win rate. It would be silly of me to try to go right to the final day like I did last season if my win rate's good enough and I can fight in the G1, G2 level. That would be silly to put it up to chance and limit myself to 30 wings. So if I'm being responsible, I will attempt to get safe soon. So we'll see what that looks like. But anyway, I hope you guys just find this kind of sort of stuff interesting. I've been trying to keep notes on my matchups. I've been slacking. And then their first pick, my first pick. I'm pretty comfortable in my comp. You can see the green are the units I use all the time. Han, 69% win rate. Yan Hong, 73%. Diana, 68%. Nana, 73%. Mo Long I haven't played since the beginning of the season. Molly, 73%. Juno, 74%. So this is all I need, really. It's a core of 6 monsters, and they just do a good job. When I start branching out, it goes down. Like Shihu, 62% compared to the other ones, not as good. Verd, 62%. Antari is still solid, but he's played 8 times, 75%. Always against Diana's. The Cardinal has not lost, but I've only played it 4 times, so I don't know. I need to figure that out. But anyway, hope you guys find this interesting. I don't know. I find this sort of stuff interesting, looking at units and theory and all that. So I will see you in the next video. I hope everybody's end of the season goes well, and you get, whatever reward you're hoping to get. And yeah, catch you later, guys.